Hey y'all, today in this video I'm going to be helping you all with some GRE comparative questions. So in this one, it wants us to look at a number x is randomly selected from the integers from 42 to 92 inclusively. So the inclusive part is going to be a keyword for us. We'll discuss that in a bit, but note that for right now, this is going to be an added something that we have to make note of, the inclusive part. Okay, so they're telling us that if we had a number line and we started from 42 going to 92, counting that one also, or counting starting from 0 in that case. So they want us to check what would be bigger, the probability that x is odd or the probability that x is even. So when we discuss with this, the next key part would be probability. So we're trying to figure out the total. We're trying to get a total over how many there would possibly be. So the idea right now would be there's kind of two ways about going about it. The easiest and simplest way would probably be to consider the inclusive aspect of it. So what we're going to do is you want to first realize how many numbers there are in between this range. So what we'll say is you take the number 92 minus 42. So this will give you about the gist of like how many numbers there are in between this. So we can say that this would be 50. However, there's one added piece to it. Because it's considering the inclusive aspect, I have to add one for it being inclusive. Now, that'd be like when we talk about the inclusive aspect of it, it'd be like when we actually start counting, we normally count starting with the next digit. So I'm looking at 0. You don't usually count from 0, you start at 1. But in this case, it'd be like considering the 0 as another digit. So that'd be the inclusive aspect. So if I started, I'd be at 42, 43, 44, going all the way through, and then there'd be a sum of 50. But you have to consider that we started at 42 or ended at 92 to get the extra one. So the actual number that there would be for the total amount of numbers would be 51. So there's 51 total numbers in between 92 to 42 with the inclusive aspect of it. So we know that there's 51 even numbers and there is 51 odd numbers. Okay, now you may be asking, okay, well, when we're dealing with probability, remember, you got to understand that probability will be total over something or out of, or so usually probabilities usually you have the total amount of what you would have, and it'd be how many are those specific colors or the specific shoes or whatever you're specifically talking about. And this one it'd be numbers, so total out of the numbers. So you may be asking, okay, how many physical numbers are there per each one? How would I even know to get our the event, the number that is taking place? How many of those did actually occur to be even? How many of those did occur to be odd? So what we can do is we can see from here. So our total was 51, but I want to take it back a step because that's the part of being part of inclusive. So if we looked at the range of numbers going from 92 to 42 without the inclusive part of it, we can say that there's 50 numbers. So if we look here and we notice that there's 50 numbers, if we divide this by 2, we will say that there's 25. So in this case, there's actually 25 even and 25 odd. So then from here we understand, okay, well there's 25 of these, 25 of this one. Then we go into even further by saying, oh, now we have the inclusive aspect of it, which would be the plus 1. So notice from the range of numbers that we're given a number that ends in even and starts in even. So the aspect is that we have two more numbers of even, or one more number, let me rephrase that, one more number that would be even than it would be odd. If we would have ended with odd, we would have had a balance, or we would have to count backwards or something. So in this case, since it's ended in even and it started in even, we can say that the majority will go towards even. So we can add this one towards even. So you would add 1 here, which would then give you 26 digits. So then we would have 26 and 25 to give us a total of 51. Now, based off of this, we know that, well, it's telling us which one would be bigger. Well, in this case, there is no other way to go about it. We couldn't say that there wouldn't be a correct way of doing it. And in these types of questions, remember, they're always asking for, is one less than, one greater than, one equal, or can we not tell the difference between this? Well, In this type of problem, there is no other aspects that you can go ahead and try to figure out. Like there is no other numbers that you could be messing with. It's just a range, so this is the best as you can get it. Now, this would probably be the easiest way. So our answer would be the column B or category B would be the greater one. So this would be the easiest way to go about it. The next way that you could try doing it, which would take you longer, but I mean, when you're dealing with the GRE, you want to go ahead and be able to, whatever works for you best. Here, I have listed all the numbers out from 42 to 92. Now, what you could go ahead and do is list them out, and from here, what you can go ahead and do is start canceling them or kind of categorizing them. That way, you can kind of see, okay, how many are there? So we would go here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yada yada yada. And you'll see as I go through them, and you can count with me as you're going through this. You'll see that the total amount of red ticks that I'll get are 26, comparable to the odd ones. That'll be 25. So I'm just canceling them out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. As you see, all the red tick marks are 26, meaning that the black ones, or the ones that I didn't tick off, would be 25. So that would probably be the next way to do it. I prefer going the first way just for speed wise, but if you're like needing to get an answer from this correctly, knowing like you want this one to be specifically answered right, this would probably be the best way. So if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Thanks a lot.